Hey guys, this is Chum Block, and today I thought I'd do something different. Usually on a Sunday I try to put up a booster pack opening, but I decided that because, I don't get a lot of views on them, and I've recently become a full owner. Look at this, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%. That I can't really do that anymore. I've got a lot of spare footage of that where I've been opening the booster packs and sort of recording the outcomes, but if nobody's going to watch it, can't be bothered. So instead, what I thought we could do is I'll take you through some of my decks. We can have a look at some of them because I've got quite a few set up. Some of them are testing, some of them are better than others, some of them are just fun. So I thought I would do this one, which is a recent one I've come up with. As you can see, it's control mainly. It's a white, blue and black deck, and it's really fun. It's got no creatures in it whatsoever, and it's all spell based. So there's the no creatures, all spell, and then a normal amount of land. And the idea is that I'm able to use my spells to keep my opponent at bay until I've got enough in my graveyard to cast this. So the deck is centered around this card, Rise of the Tides, and what this does is puts a 2/2 black zombie creature token for each instant or sorcery in your graveyard. And considering I've got no creatures and a ridiculous amount of instant and sorceries, 36 to be precise, theoretically I could put 36 black zombies down on the deck in one go, which obviously is endgame. And so the way that I get to cast this card is by splitting the lower end of my deck, all these sort of 2 mana instants and sorceries, into 2 parts. There's one part which is usually blue, which allows me to pull cards from my deck. So we've got Telling Time, which looks at 3 cards, and then you pull one into your hand, one into the top of your deck, and one into the bottom. We've got Take Inventory, which you draw a card, and then for every one of these in your graveyard you draw an extra card. And we've also got Catalogue, which is draw 2 cards then discard a card. So nice simple cards that are cheap, that are letting you pull extra cards out of your deck. And what I'm doing with those is I'm trying to find cards that are going to help me to keep creatures at bay or stop them from attacking me, and also ultimately try and find this card, because without this card, the deck does have a few other outs, but it's very hard to win without pulling this card out of the deck. And the other half, the second part, is made up of black instants and sorceries, where it's just about getting rid of creatures. So if they're putting anything down, like this, I can put a 4/4 down, which is going to get rid of a creature, destroy a creature with a power of 3 or less, destroy a tapped creature, destroy a target creature. So you can see that lower end, the sort of 2 mana, 2/3 mana, is all about pulling cards out and getting rid of the other person's creature. What I like to do is sort of leave the cards or the creatures with 1. I don't mind them attacking me, I'm happy for them. What I'm looking for is creatures getting buffs or doing something nasty that I need to get rid of. And then there's a couple more cards in here that are designed to deal with sort of weaker aspect of the deck, because really there's kind of 2 weaknesses. The first being coming up against a really fast deck, so somewhere where they're doing like 5 creatures in the second, third turn. That's going to overwhelm me because I just don't have enough mana to cast enough of my destroy creature or whatever to keep up, and they very quickly start putting on more damage onto me than I can. So in that instance, I've got this Languish, which I've spoken about before. All creatures get -4/-4. That includes yours, so if you've got creatures down on the deck, then it's going to kill those as well. But luckily, because I don't have any creatures, I'm just wiping out their army. So that's a great card, and because I'm pulling it out, hopefully I've got that in my hand at the time and I can just throw that down. Another weakness, I suppose, is Languish itself, because if the opponent has that in his hand and I've just gone out and finally cast Rise from the Tides and got all my zombies, they come out tapped. So the opponent could just cast that and wipe out the entire zombie army, which is pretty shit, and it has happened. But hey, that's another weakness. So there's not really a retort I've got. There's other end game things that I'm trying to that I've put into the deck to hope, so I don't purely rely on this one to win the game. But really, it's all about Rise of the Tides. That's how I win the majority. And as you can see, there's a few Planeswalkers. There's a couple of extra cards. I've got this one, Anguished Unmaking, which allows me to exile non-land permanent, so I lose 3 lives. But if there's a Planeswalker or something down on the deck, it's dead. So that's a fantastic card to keep in there. That just deals with anything that's really shitty that I just need to get off the deck. Enchantment, whatever it is, I can just get rid of it. It cost me 3 life, but hey, I'm not going to see that again. It's exiled. And then I've got sort of I've got 4 Planeswalkers. Liliana, Jace, Obs, Nixus, whatever. I'm going to call him Ob. I've got Ob, because I don't know how to say the rest of his name, and Sorin. So 2 of these are endgame cards, and 2 of them are kind of like a proxy for the lower end. So I'll start with the endgame. So Liliana's a fantastic little card. She's got the up to 1 target creature gets -2/-1, and that's going to remove some of those smaller creatures with a 1 defense and just get rid of them without me having to spend any mana on something like Murder, which is going to remove that creature and cost me a lot of mana to do it. Also, her end game is once you get to 7, you get an emblem where you put down 2 plus the number of zombie creature tokens on the desk at the beginning of your end step. So that's very quickly sort of putting down a hell of a lot of zombies, which are going to overwhelm your opponent and provide you with defense, not from flying, but to sort of keep you out of the way of trouble. The other endgame card is Sorin, who's incredible. One of my favourite Planeswalkers, if you can get him out. It's quite expensive compared to Liliana, but it's for good reason. The first reason being that the +1 on that is reveal the top card of your library and put that into your hand, and each opponent loses life equal to its converted mana cost. It sounds a bit strange, but basically you draw a card, and if it's Ob, then his converted mana cost is 5, so the opponent would lose 5 life. Unfortunately, he's not as great. It would be a lot better if I sort of had a lot more big creatures, and then that costs a lot more. So usually the opponent's going to be losing sort of 2 life or so. It's a fantastic card for put your life away from your opponent, and at the same time, plussing your Planeswalker. Who's going to complain about that? The other thing it's going to do is also give me the opportunity to remove creatures if I need to. I can put him down and take out something that's really bothering me, because I can just do -X, kill something with 3 mana or with 3 defense or whatever it is. And finally, his ultimate is put a number of 1/1 Black Vampire Knight token creatures with lifelink onto the battlefield equal to the highest life total amongst all players. So straight away that's end game, because if, say for example, if I've got 20 life and my opponent's got 10, I put down 20 white knights, black knights, vampire knights, whatever, I'll call them knights, and that allows me to then attack with everything, and that's end game for him, because I very much doubt he's going to be able to defend against all of those. We've also got lifelink, so it's buffing me if somehow he manages to survive. And the reverse is true as well. So if they've got 20 life and I've got 10, I put down 20 knights, and if they manage to defend, I'm still getting the life back from me. So within a couple of turns, regardless of what's going on, it's basically end game. The final end game card is Westervale Abbey. Sacrifice 5 creatures and transform into this ridiculous creature with flying, lifelink, indestructible, and haste. And so yeah, it's indestructible, it's flying, it's giving you life, taking 9 life away from them at a time. It's a ridiculous card. And I tend to win with this one quite often because what I'll do is once I've cast where's it gone? Rise from the Tides, I'll almost always, if Westervale Abbey is down on the board, is sacrifice quite a few of those to get the prince out and start flying over everything and getting life, and the rest of the zombies kind of sit there and can act as blockers or attack with him and get it done quicker. And then the final kind of couple of cards in here which aren't endgame, they're the proxies for the rest of the cards of my deck, which is, scry a card, just return a target creature, and then also similar from Ob is draw a card, lose 1 life, destroy target creature, and both of the ultimates put down emblems. So this one is whenever a player draws a card, the opponent loses 2 life, and also get an emblem whenever the opponent casts his first spell each turn, counter that spell. So they just make the opponent's life, if I can ultimate these guys I will, because it just makes the opponent's life damn sight harder and puts a lot of urgency into their game. So yeah, the rest of it's just made up of normal boring lands, plains, islands, swamps, and then I've got a couple of dual lands in there, mainly with white because that's my rarest, and then the opportunity to use Evolving Wilds and pull out exactly which mana I'm short of at the time. So yeah, that's the deck. I really enjoy playing it. I think a lot of the time when I'm taking damage early game, I always get the impression that the opponent feels like they're kicking my ass and they're feeling quite confident, and then they suddenly realise when I cast this why I haven't been acting on anything. When I cast Rise of Tides, why I haven't been doing anything, and you always see when this card goes down, there's a big pause, and they're like, "Fuck, I need to sort this out. What am I gonna do?" So yeah, it's just a bit different. It's not your normal kind of deck. It's not that powerful. It wins about as much as it loses, but I just really enjoy playing it. So yeah, hopefully you can watch some of my other videos. What I'm going to do is do a playlist. Hopefully put sort of 4 or 5 games with this deck, and you can see how it does and see what's good about it, what's bad about it, and yeah. So I hope you enjoy that. Be sure to check out those videos. Thanks for watching. Hopefully I'll see you again soon.